What would have happened if Japan had not attacked Pearl Harbor? The attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941 was the trigger that led the United States to enter World War II. But what would have happened if Japan had chosen not to attack this U.S. naval base? In this video, we'll look at 3 alternative scenarios for how the course of world history could have changed. In the most likely scenario, without the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States would probably have delayed its entry into the war, although not indefinitely. Tensions with Japan and Germany were already rising, and American strategic interests in the Pacific and Europe would sooner or later draw them into conflict. This delay could have allowed Germany to consolidate its control over Europe and Japan to extend its influence in Asia. However, America's industrial capacity and arsenal would still have been decisive in tipping the balance in favor of the Allies once they finally intervened in the war. One moment before continuing. If you're passionate about exploring questions like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more alternative history analysis. Thank you for supporting us. In this second scenario, Japan would have avoided attacking the United States, focusing exclusively on expanding its influence in Asia and the Pacific. Without American intervention, Japan might have been able to consolidate its dominance in territories such as China, the Philippines, and Southeast Asia. Meanwhile, the European allies, already weakened by the war with Germany, would have struggled to contain Japan, probably losing more colonies in the region. This would have changed the balance of power in Asia, postponing Japanese defeat and altering post-war geopolitical dynamics. In a third, less likely scenario, Japan chooses to avoid a conflict with the United States and seeks a diplomatic solution to maintain access to Southeast Asian resources. This would have prevented the United States from entering the war and might have allowed Japan to establish itself as a regional power for decades. However, peaceful coexistence would have been difficult to sustain due to Japan's expansionist ambitions and growing economic tensions with the United States. It is possible that the conflict would have eventually broken out under other economic or diplomatic circumstances. Conclusion: if Japan had not attacked Pearl Harbor, the course of World War II would have changed significantly. A later U.S. entry might have allowed the Axis powers to gain time and consolidate their power. The Pacific and Asia might have experienced longer Japanese dominance, and the post-war global balance of power would have been very different. Perhaps our world today would be less influenced by the United States and more marked by Asian and European power blocs. Which of these 3 scenarios do you think is most likely? Do you think the United States would have intervened sooner or later? Leave us your ideas and theories in the comments. We want to know your vision of how history would have changed. In the next video we will explore another fascinating question. What would have happened if Napoleon had conquered Russia? Don't miss it.